Very good morning, very good morning, very good morning to all. It's a little bit of late, but it's okay. Okay, let's start class. And in this class, all you aware about this, this is a revision series. And in this revision series, especially today, we will try to complete Unit 6, especially poetry traditions. Last night, I think it was remaining. So right now, we will try to complete this, especially 6 unit, and move towards the next unit is 9 unit. ठीक है, तो हम ट्राई करेंगे ये 6 यूनिट कंप्लीट करके 9 यूनिट्स की तरफ मूव किया जाए, क्योंकि सो मेनी डेटा इज देयर इज स्पेशली 9 यूनिट. So okay. Okay, let me share the screen. Or which anything is remaining. Let me check the syllabus once. Uh, very good, very good morning, Namita. Syllabus में only 6 poetry tradition is remaining. Okay, and one video is already uploaded of megalithic. So please try to watch a recorded uploaded video. We already done. 6 units is already done. Okay, only poetry tradition is there. So let me first complete poetry traditions, and after that we will move next unit, unit 9. Social stratifications, movement, tribal studies, Indian anthropologist, theoretical issues. Okay, so we will try to read, study with this PDF, because this is very good PDF, and you can see directly questions. In case they are asking questions from the poetry, so it's become very easy for you, because this PDF is, last time I think they asked questions. I already told you how you have to remember. You have to remember just the area and characteristics. एंथ्रोपोलॉजी में ये एक सबसे अच्छी बात है कि अगर आप एरिया वाइज चीज़ों को याद करोगे तो एग्जाम आपके लिए इजी हो जाएगा. ठीक है, चलिए देखिए पोट्री ट्रेडिशंस. थोड़ा सा टाइम लगेगा, टेक अ पैसेंस, पैसेंस के साथ बैठना और फिर इस क्लास को करना. देखो पोट्री ट्रेडिशन इन इंडिया, देखिए इम्पोर्टेंट इंडिकेटर्स ऑफ अर्ली ह्यूमन लाइफ एंड द कल्चर, evidence from site like Lavradeva in UP, and IVCs shows the development of the pottery from the simple handmade from to highly sophisticated wheel-made design. Okay, so let's see. The traditionally made as earthenware, especially terracotta, pottery means the living in the craft and essential part of the Indian heritage. So look at here, the IVC. IVC itself is very important topic in our syllabus. I already told you. Uh, Please try to learn each and every site which is associated with IVC. Especially whatever I taught you, that is enough. No need to go in the detail. But at your end, try to read all site, because when you put your effort, like very simple questions, like look at here, the wooden plug and the earthen plug. So wooden plug and earthen plug, like a plug field and the plug. So plug field is related to Kalibangan and the plug is related to Banauli. So it's a very minor difference in between two sides in perspective of the theory. Okay? Practical way, in the practical way there is so many differences, but in the theory way there is a very minor differences. But you have to go through at your end at least once you have to search. Okay, and after that you follow these videos, that is enough. Look at here, type of the potteries. How many type of the pottery? There is three type of the pottery. The first one is called earthenware, second one is called stoneware, and the third one is called the porcelain. So this is very, very important. Earthenware is basically porous, neat, and the glazing. Other hand, the stoneware is a stone and the non-porous, strong and the non-porous, and the porcelain is fine, white, and durable. You can see how the temperature is changing. Earthenware temperature is required low in compared to other two. What is the temperature? 1200 centigrade. Okay, सेंटीग्रेड ही बोलते हैं ना, ठीक है हाँ. So stoneware is 1200 to 13 and the porcelain is above 13. ये देखो कितना टेम्परेचर का डिफरेंस है. You can see this is the three type of the porcelain. First one you can see this one is a earthenware, we are aware, we have seen. Second is a stoneware, this is the stoneware potteries, and the last one is a porcelain. So basically I think in our home they are using this porcelain, and this porcelain is a part of the China. It was the uh, first made in China. It's called a made by China. Okay, first it was made in China, and the second you can see this is a three type of the pottery basic structures. Okay, let's me area wise and time wise each and every pottery traditions. You can see the first one is a Neolithic. Okay, the first one is a Neolithic. New stone. New stone uses sophisticated and the ground tool. Beginning of agriculture, domesticated plants, the animal and the permanent settlements, especially permanent village, development of the craft like the potteries and the weaving. Okay, you can see here. This is Neolithic pottery. First one you can see the type of the pottery is. Let's see the figure. The water-based red slip used to create the inside decorative red ware. It is made by the grinding a certain ferruginous nodules. You can see this is a red ware. How they design this red ware, isn't it? Next one you can see this is all is modern pottery is design. Blue pottery made in the Jaipur. Okay, you can see this one is a blue pottery. I think blue pottery is very famous in the Jaipur area. Whenever you visiting this Jaipur area, you can see the especially the roadsides, and the roadside they are these type of the pottery was use potteries was there, I think. Okay, so this blue pottery is located to Jaipur. Next one you can see here. This is a look like a Nizamuddin. Traditional Nizamuddin black pottery is from Uttar Pradesh. So black pottery. Look at here how this black pottery look like. Okay, next one you can see the pottery on the display in Delhi Heart, the market New Delhi in India. So I hope all you are who is from Delhi, they all definitely visit this in market, local market, like I think INA Delhi Heart. Okay, you can see so many design is there. It's it's look like very good. I think I never visit in Delhi INA market, but I think I have seen different market. Okay, especially INA is very famous. So this is like a pottery display in Delhi Heart Market. Okay, this is very I think अच्छा लगता है. Let's see. This is directly related to our topic. Okay, how we have to studies? We have to studies one culture area and different type of the pottery is there. So we have to go through the stepwise. First, you can see here Ahar Banas culture. Ahar Banas culture in Rajasthan is also called Ahar culture and the Banas culture. Ahar Banas culture is directly related to Rajasthan. It's basically a chalcolithic culture. Very carefully. Copper plus stone age. One topic is mentioned in our syllabus, na, this one. So they ask this type of the questions in examination related to this topic. I'm saying it's no need to go in the detail. Look at here, the bronze and the copper age and general characteristics and the distributions. So basically they ask question related to uh, potteries, culture. Okay, so likewise. First of all, we have to understand the nature of questions. Which type of the nature of questions they are putting in topic. And then after we have to move in this type of the topic. Okay, you can see first one is the Ahar Banas culture. So Ahar Banas culture in Rajasthan is also called the Ahar culture or Banas culture, and it's directly associated with Chalcolithic culture, Chalcolithic copper plus stone age. Okay, and who was the first person who identified this uh, Paleolithic age in under the Stone Age? Well, you are aware, C.G. Thompson was the first person who classified this age into SBI, S stone, S2 stone, B2 bronze, and I2 SBI, I2 iron. Okay, and apart from that, the very famous prehistoric anthropologist Lovelock. So Lovelock, what he did, he further classified into stone age into Paleolithic age and the Neolithic age. This is again very factual informations we have to learn. Okay, so southern Rajasthan along with the Aharbanas River. Okay, you can see time period was 3000 to 500 BC related to contemporary to IVCs. Used copper tool axe artifacts, okay, agricultural and settlement site. You can see here this is a Aharbanas culture. Okay, I already told you there is a five site who is fall under this Ahar culture. What is the five site of the name? First site I already told you, Gilund. That is directly mentioned in our syllabus. Okay, second site is Oziana. So Oziana is again part of the this Ahar culture, and third one is a Balathal. So these three sites, Oziana, Gilun, and Balathal, is a directly complex of Ahar culture. Two sites is also there. We will see what exact is. Okay, so Ahar culture potteries is identifies as the separate archaeological unit. Okay, mainly distinct potteries. Most of the common type is black and the red ware. So you have to learn this black and red ware is directly related to Ahar culture. So where is the location? Location is a Rajasthan. What is a pottery? Pottery is a black and the red ware. Okay, black on the top and the red in the bottom. So black on the top and red on the bottom. Okay, wine pattern design. Basically simple design what's here, linear. And the common shape is bowl, and the bowl on the stand, elongated vessels, and the globular vessels. So these type of the shape or structures they form this black and the red ware from Ahar culture in Rajasthan. The other pottery type is like a bright red pottery. Why I am mentioning this? Because sometimes they put the pottery name and they ask, okay, earlier they did, that's why I am putting this name. It's not that much of difficult. If you want to put the trick, so you can, I will tell you at the end of this PDF. Okay, so white red wear, basically we call the slipped wear. Okay, tan wear. So tan wear you have to learn. So tan wear is basically red and the black wear. Okay, next one is the burnished black wear and thin red wear and the decorated gray wear. So out of these, you have to just learn. First one is a tan wear, and second one is a decorated gray wear. This is a part of Ahar culture, and especially black red culture. Very good morning, Utkarsh. Utkarsh, very good morning. Okay, so this is a part of this Ahar Banas culture. So first you have to learn the area, culture, and second you have to learn the what is the combinations like a chalcolithic. Third you have to learn what is the locations like a Rajasthan. How many site is located to this Ahar culture, because you have to again study in the different culture they already mentioned like a Malwa culture, Jarve culture, Ahar culture. So we have to again repeat this site in that area. Okay, so third one you have to learn this black and red wares. Okay, after black and red wear, how many wear in these categories? Especially what is the most important, we have to identify. First one you can see here, the tan wear and the decorated wear. So just learn two, tan wear and the decorated wear, because the tan wear is sound like a very known. So it's maybe asking examination. Earlier they asked, that's why I'm saying it's not like anything rough. I have seen in a PYQ section. That's why I'm saying. Let's see. Used mainly for the eating and the drinking purpose, even though the real purpose of this pottery is not clear yet. But they, every archaeologist, they identify according to their own perspective. Sometimes they said that this pottery is using for storing of the grain, and sometimes they said that this pottery, because the Rajasthan is a very culture rich area, Rajasthan is also culture rich area, so people are using this pottery for their liquor and other perspective. So it's like that. On next one, you can see the Amrinal culture. So last classes, I already shown you different structures. Where is the Amrinal culture is located? Amrinal culture location is Sindh, Balochistan. Okay, we just see the Rajasthan, and second one is just Sindh, Balochistan. Okay, basically Amrinal culture is the desertic area is fall under the Pakistan, because earlier Pakistan and India was the same. So India desertic area fall under the Pakistan. It's called Cholistan. Okay, so more or less is this Balochistan region is fall under this Cholistan area. So this is called Amrinal culture. Look at see the Amrinal culture. What is the location? How many site? Why is it famous? So Amrinal culture is a separate archaeological culture based on the distinct pottery as a Chalcolithic culture. Again, Amrinal culture is associated with this Chalcolithic culture. What was the time period? Time period was the fourth millennium BCs, but not needed to learn. But the Amri located into right bank of the Indus River. Okay, it's the right bank of the Indus River, and the long occupation like a thick settlement layer. Okay, pottery. Amri is already we discussed. Amri is a very rich cultural area site. Okay, long occupation was there, and the pottery, this type of the pottery is associated with the Amri Nal culture. Actually, the Amri Nal is two side. Okay, two culture. You can see the fine wear, light buff color with geometric design. This is very, very important. Light buff color. Light buff color potteries, especially fine ware, is associated with the Amrinal culture. Again, it's associated with the brown black paint, but you have to learn this buff color potteries. So buff color potteries associated with the Amrinal culture. Okay, course with the red slipped potteries. Okay, this is a red slipped potteries, and it made by the pressure flaking technique. And Amri triangle tool, a special tool is Amri triangle they are used. You have to just learn Amrinal culture, the locations and which type of the pottery they were using. That is enough. Okay, basically light and the light buff color potteries they were using. Look at here the Birhana culture. Okay, I will show you in the pictures how this culture is different locations wise. Okay, so second one you can, third one you can see the Birhana culture. So Birhana culture is a Haryana. Birhana culture is the covering area of India is Haryana, Punjab, and Rajasthan. Okay, look at here how this culture. First one was a Rajasthan, second one was a Balochistan region of the Pakistan, and again they are moving towards this area. It means Haryana, Punjab, Haryana, and Rajasthan. So it's upper area of India, north area of India. Okay, so the time period you don't need to learn. Consider one of the oldest pre-Harappan Neolithic site. It's a pre-Harappan Neolithic site. Is the pottery is a very rich in varieties, very rich because the Haryana is itself is very rich in the culture. Punjab is like, and Rajasthan is like, especially because they are using different pottery in the different for the different purpose. So it's Birhana culture become the very, very important. You can see this is considered one of the oldest pre-Harappan Neolithic site, and the very rich in the varieties of the pottery. Which type of the pottery is the mud applique ware. Okay, so you can see the incised ware, and tan chocolate slipped ware, and the brown and buff ware, and the bichrome wares, and the black and the red ware, plain red ware. So what you have to learn, you can see the tan chocolate slipped ware. So two ware you have to learn from here. The first one is a tan chocolate slipped ware, and the second one is brown on buff ware. So these two ware you have to learn from the Birhana culture. So this is again important because the poetries is a topic like this are very complex. So whenever the examiner put the questions, if you don't have idea, if you don't have exact locations idea, so you are not able to solve. Because right now they are not asking a simple question OCP and NBN, no, NBW. They are not asking these type of the question. They are asking the deep question. So this is a very easy. Birhana culture is directly associated with this reason, and basically these are the pre Harappan Neolithic site, and how many types of the potteries were relate associated with this site. Incised ware, chocolate or tanware. Tanware is also known as chocolate ware. Okay, so just learn these two. Brown on the red ware is enough. Look at here the important site and locations. So again this is important. Look at here the Kunal site. So Kunal site associated with, or you are aware, I think Kunal district in Haryana is there. So Hisar district is Haryana is there, and Kunal, I think, a small town area is there. Okay, so Kunal is associated with Haryana because the Kunal, I think, it's too near to Delhi, so that's why I am aware. And one of my friend is from this Kunal area, Hisar district of Haryana. Okay, so this is a Hisar district of Haryana. So next one is a Kot Diji Sindh. So Kot Diji Sindh is again, and Amri Sindh. Amri is again Pakistan. Look at location, you have to learn. Location is very, very important. Kalibangan, we have just seen Kali. Kali is present in, I think, Kalibangan, Rajasthan. Rajasthan is a northwest Rajasthan on the Ghaggar River. And last one is a Rahman theory. So many sites is again categorized under this Rahman theory. You can see Pakistan, Khyber Pakhtunkhwa Pass. Khyber Pakhtunkhwa Pass is located to Rahmangiri. Next one is a Mehergarh culture. So Mehergarh, what is the location of Mehergarh? Mehergarh location of Baloch region, Pakistan. Time period same. You can see one of the earliest Neolithic culture in the South Asia in the pottery development. Yes, so there is a different period under the Mehergarh culture. First period, second period, third period. Under the first period, there is a no pottery. Basically, it's called totally a ceramic culture. Okay, second one, you can see the pottery period second. It was a time of the beginning of pottery. And the period third, use of the pottery wheel. Again, this is important because sometimes they ask to identify the method which we are using in the pottery preparation. So first one is a pottery wheel. Traditional method is also there, and the modern method is also there. Okay, you can see the name in during the class, in between the classes. Okay, more refined design and animal motif. So more refined device, because the Mehergarh site is, first of all, in your mind, its data is with Mehergarh site is in especially history and anthropology, especially archaeology. So Mehergarh site is a cattle pen site. Okay, like Utno. So this site is directly associated with the animal. So that's why the refined design and animal motif pottery was there. Okay, this is a Mehergarh culture. Let's see the Suti Swan culture. So this is one culture is again important, is along with the Paleos Saraswati River, Haryana and the northern Rajasthan. So Haryana and Rajasthan is related to Soti Siswan culture. Okay, pre-IVC's pre-Indus Valley culture. You can see Soti culture is earlier phase and Soti culture in the late phase. No need to learn the date, no need to uh, uh, root learning here. Just understand what exactly the reason, what is the culture, what is the area, what is the pottery is associated with this. ठीक है, Sishwal correspond to the middle and upper layer of the Sothi. Sishwal is upper layer of the Sothi. That's why the name again is Sothi. Feature the settled agriculture communities. Okay, pottery tradition is distinct. Pottery tradition is rare. Cultural community leading to towards the Harappan phases. Okay, you can see the IVC site. The time period is this, and the pottery traditions is exist from the earlier Mesolithic period. Okay, Soti culture, what you have to learn in the Soti culture, you have to learn the geographical location. What is the geographical location Soti culture? I think it was Rajasthan and Haryana. Okay, this is very, very important reason. Siswan reason. In examinations, examiner they directly ask this Siswan culture is associated with the with traditions are with culture. So it's directly related to Sothi culture. Sothi and Siswan, there is a two culture. Pre-site is called Sothi and post is called Siswan. Okay, let's see the next culture. IVC civilization, Indus Valley civilization and the pottery. Okay, pottery tradition is exists from earlier Mesolithic period. Yes, that's why I'm saying ki pottery tradition is not every time is associated with the Neolithic culture. Sometimes you can associate with the pottery culture with the Mesolithic as well, because most of the students and whenever they start to study, so then this they identify the ceramic culture and the pottery tradition is directly to Neolithic. It's not like that, but yes, 80% is pottery was associated with Neolithic. It's 100% correct, but it's not like no one pottery is associated with the Mesolithic. Because Mesolithic is also last Mesolithic period is also called the Paleolithic culture. So you earlier you have a studies this pottery tradition is again associated with the Mesolithic periods. Okay, you can see the type of the potteries. The first one is handmade pottery, and second one is a wheel-made pottery. So handmade pottery and wheel-made pottery is the two method to preparing the pottery. So you just learn two method. Okay, apart from that, so many method. but you don't need to know that much of the detail. You can see IVC, the orange, brown, black, cream potteries is there, including bowl, jar, and vessels. Okay, more refined and standardized than the earlier period. So whenever you visit in this, I think one museum is here in Delhi. What is the actual name? I'm not recall. National Museum. National Museum in Delhi. Whenever once I went there because of my friends. Okay, so whenever you visit in this National Museum in Delhi, so you have seen, you will be see different type of the potteries there, and big potteries is there. Okay, and all pottery is related to IBCs. And you can see some pottery is a special type of the color and design. Especially the lower portion is very broad and upper is like a surahi. Okay, very mouth is like a elongated, and upper is again opening is like again designable. So these type of the pottery is there because we are not able to go in IVC and see, but the museum is there. Museum is here. I think in every state. I like in Calcutta museum is also there. South is also there, but the National Museum in Delhi is very good. I think in this perspective. So whenever you get time, you will visit this area. You can see handmade potteries and the wheel-made potteries. Okay, so made in the various color like a red, brown, red, orange, brown, black, and the cream color pottery, including bowl, jar, and the vessels. So vessels is very important. Okay, so more refined and standardized than the earlier period. So in this period, the vessels and the pottery was very important. Look at here. Under the IVCs, this pottery was again classified into different area, like the early Harappan phase, mature Harappan phase, I think Vedic page, later Vedic page. Okay, let's see one by one. And again, this is this after this class, you can see develop your understanding about the pottery traditions. Early Harappan phases, under the early Harappan phases, that's why I already told you, I already taught you the different site which is associated with the locations. Okay, that might be little bit helpful for you to understanding the culture and associated with the region. Okay, early Harappan site are early Harappan phases. So we already learned this Kodrizi, Samdadat, Amri are fall under this early Harappan phases. So you can see the early Harappan phases, the Dam Sadat culture in the Balochistan and Kodrizi from the Sindh, Pakistan. Okay, the feature is beginning of urbanizations and distinct pottery traditions region is developed. Okay, mature Harappan site, this, and site is Harappa, Pakistan. Okay, Birhana, we just discussed the Birhana. So Birhana is located into this mature Harappan phases. Sothi, again mature Harappan phases. Siswal and the Sothi, Rajasthan and Haryana. Mehergarh, Mehergarh is again located into this. Mehergarh and Amri is the Pakistan. Related to pottery traditions. Okay, fully developed the cities, the planned settlement and the pottery trade and specialization. Late Harappan phases, let's see. Under the late Harappan phases, cemetery edge culture is very important. Right now they are asking question from this area. Okay, ये बहुत important है. Please ध्यान से पढ़ना because cemetery edge culture they already asked. Cemetery edge culture is associated with the which area? It associated with the Punjab area. Okay, Jukar and Janjar culture. So Jukar and Janjar culture is again Sindh, Pakistan. Rangoon culture is Gujarat. So Rangpur culture is associated with the Gujarat, and the Bara culture is Punjab, Haryana, and the western part of the Uttar Pradesh. Okay, so this is basically cemetery edge culture you have to learn. If you want to learn other, you just learn this Bara culture from uh, Punjab, Haryana, and Uttar Pradesh is again very important. You can see decline in the urban center, regional center, and emerge with the distinct trade and contribute the trade and the potteries. Okay, so that's why you can see different culture. Okay, you can see here. So this is a part of the Indus Valley potteries for Harappan side. IVC potteries for the Harappan side. You can see how this pottery is designed. Okay, and this pottery is the mature Harappan, the period of the National Museum of Delhi. The National Museum in Delhi, I have seen in this type of the pottery in National Museum in Delhi. I don't know whether it's the same or different, but I have seen. Okay, whenever you visit, you will definitely see. I am sure. Okay, you can see the early Harappan site is. You can see how simple geometric design there form. This is a geometric design and designable pottery is there. Okay, you can see the mouth is not that much of sophisticated. It's like a mature Harappan site. In mature Harappan site, you can see the mouth is very sophisticated. Okay, designable mouth is there, and the body is again the structures, the pictures they drawn on this. Pottery is very very unique, and you can see the stand is they also met like a very unique way. So this is the difference between IVC site, pre IVC site, and the mature IVC site. Okay, so you can easily, your mind easily learn this with the help of this figure. That's why I mentioned. Okay, you can see cemetery edge culture. So cemetery edge culture is very 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 important. Why we call the cemetery edge culture is edge culture? Because it's look like a edge. They make a reason, they make a locations is like a h, so that's why we call the cemetery h culture. What's the meaning of h? H means a horn. Okay, let's see. So cemetery h culture is 1900 to 1300 BC. Okay, location is reason is a Punjab, and the period is 1900 to 1300 BC. It's late bronze age. So in exam they ask this this Harappan culture is associated with the copper culture. No, there is no evidence is directly associated with the copper culture. This Harappan culture, this H culture, or horde culture is directly associated with the bronze culture. This is very very unique point for examinations. You will see once in examination they already asked, so maybe put in another way in another examinations. You can see the cemetery edge culture we already discussed is later bronze age culture. Cemetery edge culture considered the late phase of the IVC and named after cemetery edge burial site is found at the Harappa, shows the continuity change from the Harappan culture. You can see this one is a site. Okay, you can see this one is a cemetery H culture. It's look more or less it's look like a H, na? H is made like this, and this. So it's look like a cemetery H culture. So H structures. So that's why we call it the cemetery H culture, and it's a region of area of Punjab. Okay, it's more or less associated with the Punjab region, and this is not directly associated with the copper culture. It's associated with the bronze culture. So please keep in your mind this data is very very important. Let's see feature of the cemetery edge culture. The first one is the cremation practices is there. Yes, because dead bodies were buried, and the urn burial is there. What is the meaning of urn? I already told you. I already taught you in the Jarve culture, especially. It's not a Jarve, but you understand what is the meaning of urn. Urn means the ashes and the bone kept in the painted pots. So all you are aware, I think. Right now, this Hindu traditions they are kept after the death of a Persians, member of the person, they put their bone ashes in the some uh, pot. I have seen in the movie, but in their real life, I have never seen, because I am the younger child in my family, so I have never seen the death of anyone. So I think that's why I'm not aware about it. But I have seen in the movies. So basically, in the movie, what they did, they basically put the bone in the potteries, and they cover the mouth and they store. So it's unburial is again practices of this uh, Punjab region are H culture. Coexistence of the urn burial and the skeleton burial. Yes, the reddish pottery with the black painted design. Okay, reddish pottery with the black painted design. Motif is again important. Antelope, peacock, sun, star pattern. Basically, they were using a natural motif. Okay, new pottery style the different from the IVC. It's not a similar with the IVC. It's a different from the IVC. It's totally different from the IVCs. Rice cultivation become important in the agriculture. You are aware this Punjab region is directly associated with the agricultural area. So rice cultivation is again important in this area. Eastward expansion of the settlement. Expansion of the settlement. Yes, eastward expansion of the settlement. Decline in the trade. Yes, because of the loose associated with the marine areas. Okay, mud brick houses is continue. Yes, the pottery design linked to Vedic mythology is again very important. Is it really to connection with the cemetery edge culture with the Vedic mythology or Vedic interpretations? This is again important. Okay, so you have to keep in mind these pottery traditions. This cemetery edge culture is a relation with the Vedic period. Okay, you can see the possible belief in the soul and artifact. Yes, because they were following a natural motive. So definitely there were some belief system was there, like a soul and the Afterlife, it means like a some people are presuming life after death. Okay, death is not a, okay, it's a philosophical term. Okay, no evidence of the destroying Harappan site. Because basically they are not finding any evidence which is associated with the Harappan site or IBC site. I already told you this H culture is distinct from Harappan site, but it was similar with the Vedic age. Okay, so this is data you have to keep in your mind for examinations, and there is no association with this copper culture. It was associated with the bronze culture. So this is again very very important, and location is itself is important. Okay, so you have to learn this edge culture. In case you live all the potteries, but just learn one cemetery edge culture as horde culture. Okay, let's see the next one. You can see here the painted potteries that are from the Harappa cemetery edge culture, are from the Harappa, but it distincts from the Harappan potteries traditions. Okay, you can see the red potteries, the reddish and black color design was there. You can see how they make the black color design, and in this culture they start the covering the mouth, because the culture was little bit of the developed, so it start the covering of the mouth of the potteries. You can see different types of the birds design and different type of the nature design they start putting on this type of the pottery. So this is the part of H culture. Okay, you can see cemetery H culture located in the Punjab. We already discussed area of the Harappa and northern IVCs and the part of the Punjab, bronze of the locations. Let's see the next one. Belonging to localization era of Muhammad Rafiq Mughal. So again, this is important. Link with the late Harappan. Late Harappan, it's not Harappan. Punjab phase is Canure. Mark Canure, G. M. Canure is again itself is important. He was associated with this pottery tradition and said it shows the change is not decline or invasion. Is the Kenneth A. R. Kennedy's and the P. M. Mallory's shows that the biological continuity. Basically, every archaeologist they express their belief system, whatever they observe, they expressed. Okay, but it's not that much of important because there is no uh, single statement is associated with this. Okay, let's see stone trade linked with the Swat culture. So Swat culture is already different. You can see this one is cemetery edge culture, copper horde culture. Look at here, cemetery edge culture is different and the copper horde culture is different. You can see more or less they are aligned one adjacent time and adjacent area, but is cemetery edge culture and the copper horde culture is different. That's why in examination they directly put the cemetery culture is associated with the copper culture. No, they put, because of this reason they put this type of the statement in examinations. But this copper horde culture is associated with the copper is, but this cemetery culture is associated with the bronze age. You easily identify. Okay, BMAC is again another period. You can see Swat culture, in case in examination they ask, Swat culture is upper area for cemetery culture, and after adjacent of the cemetery culture is a copper horde culture. Adjacent of the copper horde culture is painted gray ware. You can look at here, the painted gray ware is expansion of this is the area. It means the painted gray ware is not limited to copper horde culture. Painted gray ware is again associated with the cemetery culture. This is again very important point. Okay, you can see the Vedic period. We just completed Harappan, pre-Harappans, and the different site was there. Okay, Swat culture was there, cemetery age culture was there. Okay, let's move on. The next area is called the Vedic. Okay, you have to very clear cut idea about this development. Harappan, pre-Harappan, later Harappan, mature Harappan, and cemetery age culture, and after that Vedic culture. So let's see one by one. Vedic culture, Vedic pottery itself is important, and the exact pottery development in our syllabus they started from this Vedic period. Even though IVC is also there, but they are asking question from this area. They are asking question from this area is like a Vedic period. In North Indian subcontinent, you can see OCP. So OCP was early. ठीक है, और के colored pottery was early. Why this और के colored pottery? You can see in our syllabus. I already told you every time you have to carry your syllabus. Okay, OCP, pottery tradition, they directly mentioned from here. OCP, and the colored orchid colored potteries. After that, you can see the black red ware. Okay, so under the black red ware, we just completed chocolate, tan ware was there. Okay, just keep in your mind the data. Painted gray ware is again, we just completed this cementy edge culture and the copper hot culture. It more or less associated with the painted gray ware. After it, the last one is the northern black potteries. Okay, because they directly mentioned in our syllabus, so we have to go through this. But the pottery tradition is not only like this. Pottery tradition is very broad. It's evidence of the civilization of human being, because they develop their mind, they start storing, they start using of different purpose. क्यों बना होगा? Why it was a developed? Because it was developed of the human need, human intelligentsia. So that's why the pottery tradition is itself is the indication of the beginning of their civilizations. Okay, next one you can see here, the distribution of pottery types and the period. So basically they are asking the distribution of the pottery and types and their period. So again, it's important. So right now, earlier they are asking question from here to here in the chronological sequences, but right now they are asking from question from here, distributions and their period. So itself has become important. So in this consequences, we are discussing about this area. Uh, their area and the period. So especially in the northern Indian subcontinent, ochre colored potteries, its period was 2000 BC to 500 BC, especially associated with the Vedic age period. So Indo-Gangetic Plain, reason was Indo-Gangetic Plain is spread from eastern Punjab to Rajasthan and the western Uttar Pradesh. OCP is associated with the western Uttar Pradesh, is a very important. In last class I already told you what was the name, I think Bibilan. So Bibiwal in 1950 he was excavated this different type of the OCP from the Rajasthan, from the Uttar Pradesh, from the Uttar Pradesh. So who is associated with the OCP? OCP or color pottery is associated with the Bibila. So one more point you get from here. Okay, name after the orchid. What is the meaning of orc? Orc means the reddish. Orc means the reddish colored potteries, the belonging to the Bronze Age culture. Look at here. These Vedic culture is associated with the Bronze Age culture. Okay. Next one you can see here, the contemporary with the latter phase of the IVCs. Okay, you have to very clear cut idea about this. Is very important. You can see here, OCP, later upon copper hot and the painted graviers. You can see this is the reason which is associated with the Vedic age. Vedic is all you are aware, northern part of the northwestern, especially the northern western part is associated with the Vedic period. Okay, you can see the site which is associated with the OCP. First one is the Achintara, whatever the pronunciation you can pronounce. Okay, Ahichatra. Okay, Ahichatra site is, I think its location is a UP. Second one is you can see the Bahadrabad, very difficult for me. Baragaon, Bishaulis, and the Fatehgarh, Hastinapur, Hulas, and Jinjina. And next one you can see the Katpalon and Kosambi, Mithachal, Redford, Sinoli. But you no need to learn in all these sites. You just learn whatever put in the red, because they already ask, and this site is important. So I am trying to making each and every section is for you. Okay, so try to get a benefit. You don't need to go in the detail and you don't need to learn each and every sections, but you have to learn whatever I am telling you and what is mentioned in the different color. Especially you can see Ahichatra, they already mentioned. I think Ahichatra site is from Uttar Pradesh, and this was site which is excavated by the Bibilan. Okay, in 1950. So this is again important. Let's see the next one. Let's see the next one is Bishauli. So Bishauli is itself is important site which is associated with the orchid colored portraits. Okay, last one you can see Hastinapur. Hastinapur is associated with very important site which is related to OCP. Whenever you visit in this Hastinapur site, so you will see one of the my niece is there. Okay, so whenever you visit this Hastinapur site, you can see the different pottery was there. Pottery is very famous. People write even the today world they are using this type of the potteries. Okay, so these Hastinapur, because they are very this area is very less developed in compared to western, all part of the western UP. So you can see the next one site is a Kosambi. Kosambi is just near to Delhi. So again this is a This site is associated with the OCP. Mithachal. So Mithachal is, they already asked in examination. I think this is associated with the Haryana region. Okay, so Mithachal is again important. They already asked so many time in examination. So try to learn, try to write down in your notebook. Okay, let's see the next one. Next one is, so you can see this is a woman riding two bull is a bronze from the Kosambi. I already told you why this Kosambi is important, because the very specific evidence is we were found here. What was the evidence? Evidence was the women riding two bulls. The, every time you have seen the men riding bull, but you can see here this Kosambi region women riding bull. Okay, one site is also there. What is the name of the site? It's called in last class we already learned. I think Didwana site is there, where we have learned man, one man, 16 centimeter, and he was riding two oxen, and it was like that. Okay, so you have to keep in your mind this type of the data. Okay, next one, see the anthropomorphic figure is a Chalcolithic, Gangetic, Yamuna, and basin, and present in the Bishauli. You know, I think one of the site is called जो anthropology की site है. What was the name? Some specific site is Anthropological Survey of India. I think like that. So Anthropological Survey of India is directly use this site. Let me check. Is it like that? Is not. Anthropological ANSI. I think Archaeological Survey of India. अभी मुझे याद नहीं आ रहा है कौन सी साइट है, बट इट्स लाइक अ सम साइट विच इज associated with this. Some site, I am not able to recall what exactly the site is there, but some site get the name with this. Let me know, anyone, if no, please let me know in the comment which site is direct name. It बंद हो गया क्या? Which site is directly named with this picture? ये किसका picture है? Let me, चलो पूछते हैं किसी से. This picture associated with कौन है? Oh God, no. नहीं, गलत बता रहा है. ये साइट किसी का है, आप लोग मुझे सर्च करके बताना ये साइट किसका है, ठीक है? अभी मुझे याद नहीं आ रहा है, देन आई विल, मैं भी सर्च करूंगी. बस किसी आर्कियोलॉजिकल साइट में इसको यूज किया जाता है, मुझे बिल्कुल याद नहीं आ रहा है, बट ये दिस साइट इज एसोसिएटेड विद सम एंथ्रोपोलॉजिकल या आर्कियोलॉजिकल समथिंग लाइक दैट. ओके, चलो कंटिन्यू करते हैं, अभी बिल्कुल याद नहीं आ रहा है मुझे, मैं आज सर्च करके देखूंगी, ठीक है। ओके, लेट्स सी। Anthropomorphic feature is Chalcolithic Ganges Yamuna basins is like it's discovered from the Bisoli. So these type of the evidence was found from the Bisoli. And let's see the next one. Next one is Sinoli cart, ठीक है, Sinoli ox cart. So Sinoli से ये ox cart भी found किया गया था. They were found this ox cart is present in Sinoli. So that's why this Sinoli is associated. You can see the Sinoli is directly mentioned in this. Uh, look at dialectic Sinoli is mentioned. This is OCP region. Okay, let's see the next one. Next one is a copper hoard culture. So first we were completed. We have just completed cemetery edge culture and the Vedic edge culture, and here this is associated with the copper hoard culture. So copper hoard, you can see the term copper hoard refer for the different assemblies of the copper based artifact is found in the northern part of the Indian subcontinent. This is again important because last time they asked this question related to this copper hoard. Okay, artifact found in the northern part of the Indian subcontinent. These artifacts are generally dated to second millennium BC, and only a few find comes from the controlled excavation, and most are accidental discoveries. The several regions group have been found in identify the southern Haryana region, northern Rajasthan, like a Ganga Yamuna plain, Chota Nagpur plain, plateaus, and the Madhya Pradesh. Okay, the southern Yamuna, Ganga, Chota Nagpur, and the Madhya Pradesh. In this region, copper hoard culture was found. Look at here, copper hoard culture was found. Okay, this region is one distinct type of the artifact. Initially, copper hoard were mainly known from the Ganga Yamuna Doab. It associated with the Ganga Yamuna Doab, and the most studies are based on this region. Okay, you can see this one is a copper hoard artifact from the Rewari. So this one is a copper hoard. You can easily identify this is a copper. Copper, it means it's like a metal and metal structures and all that. So it's like a copper hoard culture. So let's see the next one. It's found from the Rewari. You can see this picture. Okay, color pottery culture during the IVC's late phase. Okay, you can see this picture. Jukar culture is there, Rangpur culture is there from, you can see the cemetery edge culture from here, Punjab, and orchid colored pottery culture is there. Cemetery edge culture is associated with the bronze. Other hand, orchid colored pottery is associated with the copper hot culture, and it was more or less related to Vedic age culture. Okay, इसकी बात करेंगे. In case of the cemetery edge culture is associated with the Harappan side. The other hand, the ochre colored pottery is associated with the copper hot culture, and the copper hot culture is associated with the copper culture. Okay, name itself is suggesting. So copper hot culture is associated with the copper hot culture. So very easy to learn. Okay, next one here are Banas culture, Malwa culture, and Savalda culture. It's not in that much of the detail, but it's learned. So ochre color pottery is during the IVCs and the late phase. Black and the red ware is also there in the northern and the central Indian continent. Let's see black and red ware. The first was learn the time period. OCP time period was a 1500 to 2000 BC to I think 1500 near about, because it more or less associated with the Vedic culture. So what was the time of the Vedic period? 1500 to 500 BC. So you can see under 1500 to 500 BC, OCP time period was 2000 BC to 1500 BC. It's also associated with the late Harappan site, and it also found in the phase of the Vedic period. So what was the Vedic period? 2000 BC to 1500 BC. Let's see next. It was the OCP. Let's see the second one is the black and the red ware. So let's see in the syllabus. So first one was the orchid color potteries. Under the orchid color pottery, we have seen the copper hot culture, and it was associated with the Vedic age culture. Time period is near about 2000 BC to 500 BC or 1500 BC. Look at it. Next one is the black and the red ware. Okay, let's topic on the black and the red ware. So what is the meaning of black and red ware? What was the time period? 1415 to 1200 BC. After the orchid color potteries or reddish color potteries, black and the red brown culture was there. Okay, yani it means the black and the red ware was there. Okay, so it's the northern and the central subcontinent. Likewise, OCP. So painted gray wares is the culture point, painted gray ware. So this is a part under the black and the red culture, black and the red ware culture. Painted gray ware is a part of this culture. Okay, so many, but let's see. The period was 1200 BC to 600 BC. This was a time period of black and red ware. Time period of 1400 to 1200, and 1200 to 600 BC is the painted gray ware. Okay, let's see. The painted gray ware is a part of the western Uttar Pradesh, Haryana, Punjab, Ghagar, Harakka Valley, known for the Sonk and the Mathura. Mathura is very famous for their painted grey ware. Okay, so Iron Age culture. It's a type of the Iron Age culture. You can see earlier was associated with Harappan, Vedic, and gradually it's developed and it more or less associated with the Iron Age culture, located into Western Gangetic Plain. Okay, let's see the period. This one is picture is very good. You can see here picture. Uh, mm, uh, Look at here, Ahichantra site. Okay, you have to learn this site locations. It's very, very important. All this site is more or less associated with the uh, painted grey ware, but let's see what you have to learn. Hastinapur, I already told you. Again, Hastinapur site is the Iron Age site. Ahichantra, Ahichatra site is associated with the Iron Age site. You can see all these are from Uttar Pradesh. Okay, and uh, these two sites, वर्णमान नहीं याद करना है. Kosambi. Kosambi, I already told you why Kosambi is important, because the women bull riding evidence was found there. Okay, next one you can see the black and the red ware. Black and red ware is a part of the western and the central India. Okay, black and the red ware is again part of Bihar. And in the Bihar, they are already, it means the northeast India, like, but not exactly the northeast India. Okay. Next one you can see here the black and the Jorwe culture is from the Maharashtra. You have to very clear cut idea about this. Jorwe culture is from the Maharashtra. Okay. Let's see the northern black police wear. Let me put the charger in switch, and after that we will continue because the laptop is discharged. Okay, this is another black polysphere. Okay, sometimes they say ki pottery, sometimes they say ki polysphere. So northern black pottery. In the syllabus, you can see the northern black potteries. Okay, northern black polyspheres. Northern black polysphere is there. Okay, you can see the northern black. This is you can see the northern black polysphere. ब्लैक है तो पूरा ब्लैक ही है. ठीक है. So northern black polysphere, the time period was 700 BC to 200 BC. Okay, the first time period was 2000 to 1200 BC. 1200 BC. Second time period was near about second time period was 1450 BC to 1200 BC. Third time period was 1200 BC to 600 BC. And this was northern black pottery was 700 BC to 200 BC. Okay, so this is again northern black pottery was important. You can see type of the urban Iron Age culture. So this is again important. Is a found across the Indian subcontinent, developed during the late Vedic period. So it's a part of the late Vedic period. So northern black polished ware is a part of the late Vedic period, not the early Vedic period. Okay, it was a part of the late Vedic period. Okay, let's see the next one. Is a fragmented of northern black pottery were found in the Kosambi. We can't distinguish from each and every site because all are carry the similar characteristics. Okay, you can see the next one. I already explained you. Okay, you can see northern black potteries region where we found the northern black potteries. Okay, in this region again, and this region, and some region from just say Amravati, Sinati, Nasik, and uh, they are not asking in that much of detail, but this site is related to associated with the northern black potteries. Okay, and especially you have to learn the name is the location is associated with the Gangetic Plain. It's basically you have to learn the Gangetic Plain area, which is because this late Vedic period and the later Vedic period is more or less part of this northern black, more or less part of the Vedic area, and it's Vedic period and the non-Vedic period were more or less associated with this Gangetic plain area. So that's why this northern black polisphere is associated with this uh, Gangetic plain area or Gangetic subcontinent, Indian subcontinent area, especially this region. So this region, basically, this is fall under the Gangetic area. So that's why all these are part from the northern black potteries, northern black polisphere. Okay, let's see the next one. So medieval is potteries and the culture. So we just completed pre-Harappan pottery culture, and the second was a Vedic age culture, and third was later Vedic age culture, and we are moving towards the next age culture is the medieval age potteries and the culture. So medieval age pottery culture was a very interesting because they are influenced by the some regional king or regional, you can say the regional people. You can see what was the time period was 1300 to 1800 BC. So it's Vedic period was end, and after that, you can see the new time period is started 1300 to 1800 BC is categorized under the medieval period. Under this period, the pottery tradition was evolved. What was the pottery traditions? You can see how this decorated potteries was developed, and theme-based pottery was developed. You can see this one is I think look like a very beautiful, isn't it? And it's look like a very thematic expression of this clay potteries. It's good. Okay, let's see the next one. Okay, it was there because they didn't ask any question from this medieval age pottery tradition. That's why I just mentioned because of our understanding. You can see right now they are designing a pottery on the basis of their interest, because so right now so many technique and was developed. So it's all about the pottery development and the pottery distributions. Okay, this is very important. Let me explain one more topic which is directly associated with this the pottery tradition and the culture is called the different culture, like a Malwa culture, Jarve culture, Ahar culture, Banas culture. So after that your topic become, I think you get the little bit idea about it. So have you get any idea these pottery traditions? Is it feel is or lengthy? Is it feel is? I hope it's become easy for you right now. Yes. Okay, thank you. यूनिट 6 है ना? यूनिट 7 यूनिट 6. One topic is there like a like a Jarve culture, Malwa culture, Ahar culture, Banas culture, and after that this unit 100% this unit will complete, and we will move forward. Look at here how you have to, this one page is important. We just discuss about different culture. Okay, even though we already discussed in detail, but understand in short perspective is again important. Okay, let's see here. Let's see, this one is, you can see here, Neolithic, how you have to arrange in your examinations. Be careful. Okay, Neolithic, after Neolithic Chalcolithic is there, and भी सबसे लास्ट में आता है. Okay, don't put here. So Neolithic, Chalcolithic, Bronze Age, Iron Age, Megalithic. Okay, so you have to follow this sequence, and under this you have to follow. First one is a Kayatha. First one is a Kayatha culture. Second one is a Ahar culture. Third one is a Malwa culture. Fourth one is a Zarve culture. Okay, and after that you put this. But they are asking the simple, the culture development. Okay, so under the cultural development, uh, first is Kayatha, second is Ahar, third one is Malwa, and the fourth one is Zorwe. Okay, this you follow chronology in your examination. We have just seen the different age time period. Okay, let's see Ahar culture. Okay, I already told you in Ahar Banas culture, it's directly associated with the Rajasthan region and some part of the northern India. But Rajasthan, it's a 100% associated with the Rajasthan region, and there is a five site which is associated with the Ahar culture. What is a five site? The first Oziva I already explained, and Gilund is directly mentioned in our syllabus. And the third one is Oziva, Gilund, Balathal we already discussed. So other two sites, the first one is the Bagor and third one is the Ahar itself. So these five sites is associated with the Ahar Banas culture. Ahar Banas culture, you can see the in short we are seeing in the short detail we already completed, but this short notes is very important. It's made by me after studies of this detail and all that. You can see the Banas culture name. Ahar site is Udaipur, Rajasthan. Okay, 1962, 1961 to 62, it was discovered by H.D. Sankalia. I already told you whatever site present in the Rajasthan, so we have to join with this V.N. Mishra. So you can see how exception is there. I'm not saying every time. I am saying sometimes they ask the chief instructor name. So in that case, it will be different. It would be different. But sometimes they directly associated with the person. It would be different. Okay, so we have to study on that perspective. You can see H.D. Sankalia is associated with the Ahar Banas culture. Even Ahar Banas culture was present in the Rajasthan. Okay, so you can see the southern Rajasthan Ahar site is the Mewar. So Mewar, Ahar site is located into Mewar. Okay, more extensive excavated site is the Ahar Balathal. You can see Ahar Balathal, Gilund, Bagor, and Oziana. All these sites were associated with this Ahar culture. Is more than the 60 site is there, but these five site is most important site. Even though they sometimes they ask the question related to Ahar, sometimes ask question related to this Balathal, and sometimes ask question related to Bagor. But they didn't ask Oziana and Gilun because they directly mentioned, but maybe ask in any time because they directly mention in our syllabus. Okay, so whatever in syllabus mentioned, it's our duty to go and read each and every topic, even they are asking or not asking, it doesn't matter. Okay, it's our duty, so we have to study in the each and every topic. Let's see the next one. Excavation of Ahar reveals two-fold sequences, okay, for period 1 and period 2. And the Balathal, it was excavated by the B.N. Mishra. Look at here. Even though Ahar Banas culture was excavated by the H.D. Sankalia, out of this, there is a five site. Now, so far, it doesn't necessarily every site is excavated by the V.N. Mishra. Balathal was excavated by the H.D. Sankalia. Balathal was excavated by the V.N. Mishra. A habitation deposit was found there. Okay, four phases of Ahar culture was there. What was the four culture? The first one is early Ahar Balathal phase. Second was a transitional phase. Third was a mature Ahar phase. And fourth was a late Ahar phase. Okay, early Ahar, under the early Ahar culture, Balathal phase was there. And transitional phase was there. Mature Ahar was there. And late Ahar phase was there. Okay. Let's see the black and the red where we already discussed. Okay, we did not get any oxygen. Why this where is become the black and red? Because it's totally depend of the oxygen supply. So where the oxygen supply was sufficient, this pottery was converted into red. Where the oxygen supply, these potteries didn't get the sufficient oxygen. In that conditions, this pottery converted into black. So that's why it's become the black and the red ware. So black, you can see slipped ware is there and painted buff notice is there. We already discussed. Okay. So this slipped ware is associated with the black and the red ware. Let's see the Kayatha culture. What is the name? First we already discussed Aharbanas culture. which is related to black and the red ware, especially in the Rajasthan region. And there is a 5 site. First one is called Ahar, second one is a Balathal, third one is a Gilun, fourth one is a Kayatha, and the fifth one is also there, is called Aziva. So it was discovered by H.D. Sankalia, but the Balathal was discovered by V.N. Mishra. Okay, likewise, you have to remember the data. That is sufficient for examinations. Let's see, next one is a Kayatha culture. Why this Kayatha culture name is the Kayatha? Because the ancient name of the Varaha, it was a myth. It was, you can say that it was a belief system. This Kayatha site is associated with the Kapitaka. It's the birth of the Brahaka. The ancient name of Kayatha site was a Kapitaka. So Kapitaka, it was a place where Varaha was born. Okay, you can see its name is associated with the Chalcolithic culture. So Kayatha is associated with the Chalcolithic culture. The excavation series was a five-fold sequence was there. You can see Kayatha. You have to learn the sequence. In examination, they ask the sequence. Kayatha was there. Ahar, Malwa, Zarve. Okay, you can see what was the time period of Kayatha. 2400, 500 BC to 2000 BC. Okay, and Ahar 915 BC to 700 BC. Malwa 700 BC to 1400 BC. So you have to learn in the sequential way if you good in the learning of this time. अगर आप टाइम याद कर सकते हो, if you are good in the fact, so you have to go with the fact. If you are good in this if you are the good in this sequence, so you have to go with the sequence. It's totally depend on you. Whatever you like, you go with that one. Okay, next one you can see the Malwa culture. Okay, Kayatha culture is name is associated with the Chalcolithic culture. That is enough. Okay, let's see Malwa MP. Okay, what is the this is Malwa का आगे होगा. This is the Kayatha culture. You can see which type of the ware is found with the Kayatha ware. You can see the red painted buff. ठीक है, chocolate silver. Chocolate is also called the tan buff. Okay, you have to keep in mind. This tan and the chocolate is also called Kayatha ware. Red painted buff is also there. Table ware is also there, and combat buff is also there. Okay, you just learn there. So who is associated with the Kayatha discovery? Dhavalikar in 1997 is associated with the Kayatha discovery. Let's see the next one. Next one is the Malwa culture. So Malwa culture, I already told you. So Malwa culture is located into Madhya Pradesh, and this site different. You can see the Malwa. Some site is associated with the Madhya Pradesh. They directly mentioned in under the Neolithic site. You can see the Nagda, Kayatha, Navdatoli, Iran. Okay, this is site is they directly mentioned in our syllabus in Madhya Pradesh, even though except Kayatha. ठीक है, Kayatha Chalcolithic site in what was the location of Kayatha? इसमें तो मेंशन नहीं है. Kayatha की लोकेशन क्या है, एक बार बताना, कमेंट में बताना. Is it present in MP? Kayatha is present in the MP. ठीक है, let me know in the comment. Right now I am moving forward. Okay, so Malwa culture is again present in the Madhya Pradesh. Malwa region is the most prominent. What was the time period? 900 BC to 1400 BC. Okay, it was a time period of. Good morning, Anu. And please let me know in the comment what exactly location of Kayatha. Okay, so Malwa culture 900 BC to 1400 BC. And you have to learn this site. Likewise, MP. Yes. Okay, great. So I already told you ना this syllabus. ये syllabus ही बताता है कि ये वाली जो site है ना, this site Nagda, Kayatha, Navdatoli, Iran. This is part of the Madhya Pradesh, and this Nevasa, Chandoli, Imamgaon, Daimabad, this part of the Maharashtra, Maski, Brahmagiri, Sangankalu, this part of the Karnataka, and this site Ahar and Gilun is a part of the Rajasthan, and this Birdshome and the Gukkaral is part of the Jammu and Kashmir. So likewise, site itself is indicating. Okay, but thank you so much for knowledge, for commenting. Oh, for comment, sorry, commenting कोई word नहीं होता है. Thank you. Let's see the how many sites is categorized under this the Malwa culture. You have to learn. The first one is the Nagda site. Nagda site itself is very very important. Okay, Kayatha is again it's part of the Malwa culture, but it's again categorized in the distinct culture. Okay, in Nagda, Navdatoli, and Iran. These three sites is associated with the Malwa culture. You have to keep in your mind. Okay, why this Iran site and Nagda site? Because the mud rampart was found there. Okay, you can see fire brick use, absence of the other side. Okay, that's why this Nagda site is important. Okay, why this Iran is important? Because this Iran site, the polar Braha picture was found there. Whenever you Google this Iran site, you can found some half man and the half animal pictures is there, and one Braha temple is also there. Okay, this that's why this Iran site become the very famous. Okay, Prakash, Daimavad, you can see site is associated with this, the Prakash Daimavad Imanga, but leave it. No need to go in that much of detail because this site is directly again is associated with the Maharashtrian region. Okay, क्या बनाया? So this site is associated with this one. Okay. So next one you can see here, the cream slip ware is associated with this, and the coarse red grease is associated with that. Okay. So this is again very important. You just learn the time period of the Malwa culture, and the site is associated especially Nagda, Iran, and Navdatoli. Navdatoli site is very, very important. We will see why this site is important. And some evidence is found from Nagdatoli. That one is directly important for this cultural development. Okay, let's see the next one, Jarve culture. So again, Jarve culture is, I think, last culture in this series. You can see Jarve culture. So Jarve culture is associated with the Maharashtra. I already explained. Site is Jarve, basically Adamnagar district of Gujarat. And site, the all the site is associated. That's why I am skipping this site here because this is not 100% correct. Prakash Daimabad Imam Gaon. This is the Maharashtrian site, and this Maharashtrian site is associated with the Jarve culture. So what exactly the Jarve culture was there? I already told you one megalithic culture you already learned is called sarcophagus. So sarcophagus is again found here in the Jorwe culture. They chop the body part. Okay, they chop the sand because they are not able to buried this type of the skeleton, or we can say the dead body. So they chop the body part like a hand and the leg. So they directly put this part, take a trunk part in inside of the potteries, and they close that potteries. So this type of the burial practices was found this Jorwe culture. It was really associated with the Maharashtra. You can see the all Maharashtrian site, most of the Maharashtrian site, especially Imamgao, Daimabad, Prakash, all are associated with this. Prakash was a Maharashtra site. Okay, it was associated with the Jorvan culture. And early Jorve was rectangular plain. Okay, and the late Jorve was circular plain. Okay, Sangao, Chandauli, Apagong, and the Volki was associated with that. And the black on the red painted pottery was associated with that. And the religious belief was found. And the end, just learn this site and special characteristics of Maharashtra. We already completed. Okay, Ahichantra or Atranji Khera is again related to Ironate site. You have to learn. There is a three site is important. First one is Achi Chatra. Second one is Atranji Khera, and third one is Adi Chandalur. So these two site, Iron Age site is located into uh, near Ganga, inside of the Ganga Yamuna Doab. But the other site, which is associated with the Iron Age site, is Adi Chandalu, which is located into southern, especially in Tamil Nadu. So all these sites is become very important. So many sites is there. I already explained, but these two sites is very, very important for us. So I already explained what is all about this pottery tradition and all that. Okay, I hope right now your concept is clear. It's about this pottery tradition and different type of the cultural development. Okay, let me know in the comment. Then we will see what exactly we have to do right now. Let me close the file all because it's create. Okay, so topic. So I think this sixth unit is almost. I think we have completed the sixth unit, isn't it? So I have you any doubt? Have you any doubt? Please ask me. Megalithic site, you have to go with the videos which I already uploaded. Please watch this video because this site is again important. Not that much, but yes, it's important. Okay. So if you want to continue class, if right now we are continuing, so we will try to start the next unit is 9 unit, and we will cover some topic is associated with the 9 unit. It might be easy for evening classes. And let me know your topic in completed this 6 unit. If you have any doubt, please let me know in the comment. I will try to answer, and after that, I will move forward. आई एम वेटिंग योर रिप्लाई, प्लीज लेट मी नो। नहीं कमेंट करोगे, ठीक है कोई बात नहीं। तो हम 10 मिनट का ब्रेक लेते हैं ब्रेकफास्ट के लिए, उसके बाद फिर से हम स्टार्ट करेंगे नेक्स्ट यूनिट, यूनिट 9। ओके, इज इट ओके? इज इट ओके? वो तो बता दो। ओके, for 10 minutes break and after that we will start next unit, unit 9. Okay, let's continue next unit. We already completed all important unit. Okay, first, second, third, fourth, and fifth and sixth. Okay, you can see 60% of syllabus we already completed. Even though some topic is remaining in unit 4, but more or less in PYQ section we already covering this unit 4. Okay, but once we will visit in this unit and we will try to cover whatever the remaining portion is there. Okay, but before that we have to move next unit, unit 9. So unit 9 is itself is important because first of all purpose, because of the tribal perspective it's important. And why this tribal perspective is important? Because they directly ask commission and committee in examinations. You can see there is a two committee. Is first one is a very relevant committee. It was came in 1960 and it was published report in near about 1961. Okay, but the second committee was I think what was the name? One committee was also there. It was came in 1961. Okay, I'm not recalling, but the committee was there. So in examination, because the time period is too close to each other, so that's why they are putting in examination early to latest or latest to early. It's create a confusion in the mind of students. So don't we will try to solve these type of the confusion in this unit. And apart from that, they asking question related to their 5-year plans. Okay, and again, very important topic is debating point in between isolationist approach and the assimilation approach, which is given by Barrier Elvin and G.S. Gourier. So this is again debating points which is important for us. It's not examination perspective, but yes, examination perspective. Some topic is important, some point is important, but not the all debating point. This all debate all about their for answer writing for different examinations. Okay, and the next one is next topic is especially Indian anthropologist. So again, this part Indian anthropologist is very important because they directly ask question from Indian anthropologists, especially book chronology and the concept which is given by them. So this is very important for our examinations. Let's see, let's discuss one by one. So first let me open this 9 unit. We already completed all these. Oh, oh. Look at here. So stage in the development of Indian anthropology. First, let me show the syllabus. After that, you are able to understand. Because I don't know how many students all you have this print out the syllabus. I don't know exactly. Okay, you can see the unit 7 we already covered. Unit 8. Unit 7 or unit 8 we will cover together. Unit 9 maybe 28 को तो नहीं, but 29 we will cover the unit 7 and unit 8 until पूरा complete कर देंगे उसको, ठीक है. Unit 9, look at here, the stage in development of the Indian anthropology. Okay, first topic is here, they directly mentions. Okay, so it's your duty to go and read the detail, even though I already explained in the PYQ section, but it itself is important. Okay, you have to idea about these stages in development in Indian anthropology. Second one you can see here is concept of social stratifications like a caste, scheduled caste, or Dalit, OBC groups. And the revivalist and the nativist movement is the peasant movement. Okay, especially they were talking about the peasant movement. You can see in bracket they directly mentioned the Malabar and the Telangana movement. Okay, so basically after the independence movement, which is took by this peasantry movement, so that movement is ultimately become important for our examinations. Let's see, next one is a tribal and the scheduled tribe. Okay, tribes, especially scheduled tribes and the particularly vulnerable groups, PVTCs, and the tribal movement, especially you can look at here the tribal movement they directly mentions. Under the bracket they mention the Birsha and the Naga movement. So your duty to go in the detail is the tribal movement. Especially, I already told you how you have to study. First, you have to early movement, which is done by the tribes, like a Chiro movement. Okay, so like a Tamar movement. So all these was the early movement. It was a time, I think it was time periods near about 18, 17, and 18. So just you have to learn this early movement, and after that you have to mid movement, and after that you have to learn uh, after independence movement. For me it's a very easy because I never learned this type of the movement, and because of I have a good idea about this one is the early, this one is the middle, this one is a, I just have idea. I didn't recall the ease. What was the time period? I just have idea. It was early. It was a middle. It was a after the independence, near about the independence. So in that case, you will definitely it's easy for you to arranging option in examination. But before the why it is for me, because I read earlier. So if you not read earlier, so your duty to go in the detail and the read and each and every sections of the movement, even though they were peasantry or tribal movement. Okay, it's your duty. So we will see it whatever in the topic is mentions. Okay, so it's this, and look at here the last topic in this series they mentioned the tribal development and their distributions. So tribal development, in case of the tribal development, first they ask the name who is associated with the tribal development. Okay, and second they ask the 5 year plan is associated with the tribal development. Even though they directly mentioned in our syllabus the 5 year plan, but because of the perspective of the tribal development program, you know the 5 year plan. There's two perspective to studies for us. The first perspective of the development perspective of the tribal area, and the second is uh, educational area for the paper one perspective. On the paper one you don't need to focus on this tribe, you have to focus on this what educational reform was done in this five year plan. So it was a two perspective for us. I think civil services aspirant they have the different perspective because they have to put a lots of data from these 5 year plans and the all annual plan. So in that case it's a different perspective. So for our perspective we have to follow two perspective, especially in the paper two we have to follow only one perspective, the tribal development approaches in the different 5 year plans. Next one you can see the distributions. You can see one question from the distributions. I already told you what you have to learn. You have to learn northern and the southern. So northern may you have to learn from the Uttarakhand tribe, especially some tribe of the Jammu Kashmir too, but it's Jammu Kashmir is not that much of importance because I already told you the professor of the different universities they are not preferring that much of the Jammu Kashmir in compared to Uttarakhand, because Uttarakhand is accessible for them and it's easy for them. And Uttarakhand and Himachal Pradesh, sometimes they went in the Himachal Pradesh, but most of the time they carry their bag. They went on this Uttarakhand region. So Uttarakhand or tribes Uttarakhand become the very important in the distributions arrangement of their distributions. To try to learn or recall this Uttarakhand tribe. Okay, so let's see the next one what we have to learn. Explanations. Thank you so much. Back knowledge, basic knowledge. I know you are the first. You are the persons who I think supported me in very early. Am I right? In case, am I right? I have seen so many times your positive comments and the positive motivations. Uh, Thank you so much for motivating me, and I am trying my best. I hope it's maybe a little bit help for you and all of them. Okay, so let's see. So it's first area is like that, and the second area is the village studies. So in the last class I already told you how we have to study the village area. Okay, we no need to go in the like S.C. Dubey what he did, Mick Marriott, Weisler, Scarlett Apest, no, don't do that. Just divide India into different geographical area. Who is associated with the northern part, especially in the northern part, who is associated with the Punjab, like a very recent and the very important personality, IP Singh. Even though they didn't mention in our syllabus IP Singh, but they already asked in the PYQ sections why this IP Singh was important. Actually, IP Singh he was a student of University of Delhi, and he was the first students who went in Germany and complete their post PhD in there. And again, he come back in India. He joined as a professor in University of Delhi, and he studies of two villages. First village is he was very expert in this field area. So he studied two villages. The first was village was Ranikhet and second was the Tangla village. So basically the Ranikhet village, what he did, he experiment, he analyzed, he observed the data, which is directly helpful for their mushroom cultivations. How this mushroom cultivation of the Punjab farmer to change their life and how they bring the change in their economy. So these studies was done by IP Singh. Even though they didn't mention in our syllabus, but they are asking in examinations. So it's our duty to divide each and every section in a different area to learn who is associated with the northern Punjab region and who is associated with the Gujarat region and who is associated with the central region and who is associated with the eastern region and who is associated with the southern region. Okay, so it's our duty. When you start learning in this way, so every topic is become easy for you. So we have to follow this type of the village studies, not like this. जो मेंशन किया उसको नहीं फॉलो करेंगे, ठीक है? Even though ठीक है, एसी दुबे was very important, Mikin Marriott was very important. When we cover south, so एसी दुबे is ultimately covered. When we cover south, Scarlet Epstein ultimately covered. MSc Srinivas we already covered, and you can see the FG Bailey from eastern region को cover करेंगे, तो we will directly cover this FG Bailey. So we have to follow these type of the village study. Next one, you can see the constitutional safeguard for SC/ST, inclusion and exclusion, Panchayati Raj institution, the other traditional communities, political organization, and the self-help group. Okay, I will tell you what is the important for SC/ST safeguard, but apart from that, you have to learn. So many safeguard is there, but I just told I will just tell you what is important SCST. And next one is the Panchayati Raj extension. First, you have to learn under the Panchayati Raj extensions, what was the time and what was a 5-year plan in which 5-year plan this Panchayati Raj extension was came, and which political organization is important. Okay, and what is the role of the self-help group. Even though they are not asking any question from the self-help group, but in case we will see. Next one is a theoretical idea. This is again very important. So one question you can see in the from the theoretical idea. So first theoretical idea is Sanskritization. People are thinking is a Sanskritization was a very early concept. In that concept, the people, we can say that it was a very early practice in which the people migrated from lower to upper strata. It's not like that. The first concept was a Brahmanizations. It was introduced by the uh, Srinivas. Okay, so Brahmanization was again modified into Sanskritizations. So we will see what is actually the chronology of the Brahmanization and Sanskritization. Even though in the paid classes, Satyanarayanan sir already covered these lectures, the Sanskritization, Brahmanization, Nature Manuscript, and S.C. Dubey and M.N. Srinivas, because he is very expert in this area. So that's why sir is covering all that topic, but I'm not as much as good as sir, but I'm okay in this area, so I will cover. Okay, Sanskritization, Westernization, modernization, and globalization again, and the sacred complex and nature manuscript complex, what exactly all these concept are there. And next one, you can see the early Indian anthropologists and their contributions. So again, this is important because you can see the some questions, so many questions from here. Anthropologist is there is a two distinction. First one is a Western and the second one is a Eastern, Indian. Okay, so they are asking two way of the question. The first one is a Western, which is basically, good morning Sushma ji, thank you for coming. Okay, so they are asking two way of the chronology. First they are asking from the Western, and in the Western categories they are putting question from I already told you वो डिफ्यूनिस्ट categories. Okay, उसको theories में से पूछते हैं. And here under the Indian anthropologist category they are asking from question in this. So basically they are not asking any question from the LP Vidyarthi right now, but they may be asked because they directly mention in syllabus, so we have to duty to each and learn each and every sections. Okay, but NK Bose, they are asking question from NK Bose, SC Roy, GS not a BS Guru, but SRK Chopra, ठीक है, वैरियर रेलवे, सरकार, धरानी सेन, TS Das, and PC Biswas. So this area you have to learn. You know, SRK Chopra from the Punjab universities. Right now, I think it's called Lovely Professional University is also there. So it's like that. Next one, you can see Dharani Sen from the Odisha region. Next one, you can see Tishi Das. He was a very famous, and so many students was trained by him. It's from the he studied so many tribes from the northeast India. And PC Biswas is again, I think he was from Delhi universities and he was from paleoanthropologist. So these type of the question you can see in the examinations, and this was again very important. All these, so we have to cover in the detail all these which is mentioned in our syllabus. But I will teach you in very easy way how we have to learn, and what is important concept is given by him. So let me start. The first topic is stages in development of the Indian stages in the development of the Indian anthropology. Okay, you can see the stages in development of the Indian anthropology was first given by LP Vidyarthi, even though it was again modified by the DM Mazumdar, but the LP Vidyarthi stages was a broadly accepted in Indian anthropology. Okay, let's see what was the stage. Threefold system was there. First one is called the formative, second one is called the constructive, and third one is called the analytical. So, a formative period was started with the with the establishment of the I think Sanskrit college in Sanskrit 1774 में John Donaton whatever the name John D ने establish किया था, and Asiatic societies of the Bengal, याद आ गया. So Asiatic societies of the Bengal, he started with the establishment of the Asiatic societies of the Bengal. This period was started. Okay, and 1774 to 1990. Till the 1919, it was a time period of the formative period. Under this formative period, so many early work was done. Okay, very simple work was done in Indian anthropology. Okay, you can see the constructive period was there. Constructive period, Department of the Anthropology department in the Calcutta University was established in I think 1921. So sometimes it categorized under the 1920, sometimes it's categorized under the 1921. So we have to categorize this 1919. Okay, so constructive period was established. Begin with the establishment of the Department of Anthropology in Calcutta University. So 1990 to 1947, and the last in this period, most of the work, which is like a nature manuscript complex and the MN Srinivas work, and so many very famous anthropologists like D.N. Mazumdar, all those are come under this constructive periods. Okay, so this is a little introductions, but in the broad sense, you have to go in the detail what the work is done under this formative period. Okay, you can see the village studies and the re-studies was not a part of the constructive period. It was a part of the analytical period. Village studies, it was the basic studies was again work under this constructive period, but it was re-studies and it was again re-analyzed under the analytical period. So all re-studies and village studies was a part of the analytical period. So you have to very clear cut idea. When you go in the detail, you will realize how this topic is important. But right now, this one is sufficient for you. Okay, and analytical period was 1947 to till now. What is the going on? Okay, you can see the formative period I just mentioned is a very short. Let's see. First one is a formative period is 1974 to 1999. The Asiatic Societies of Bengal founded by the William John in 1774 with the establishment of this societies, and after that it was formative period was begin. You can see the published is the Journal of the Asiatic Societies of the Bengal, Indian Antiquities, the Journal of the Bihar and Odisha Research Society was established. Okay, you can see the general book of the Indian ethnology. So Campbell and Latham and Richelieu was there. Okay, so ethnology of India. This one is again important. Try to learn because they ask the direct question from here. Okay, you can see ethnology of India was written by R.H. Latham. The tribes and the caste in Bengal Richelieu. Okay, just leave it. But you have to learn this. Who is associated with the which tribe? You can see the Chamar. The Chamar tribe is studied by the Briggs. Okay, the Lusai Kuki. So Lusai Kuki was this Shakespeare was studied by the Lusai Kuki. Okay, so next one is of the Khasi. So Khasi was studied by the P.R.T. Gordon. It was the time period of the formative period. It was done by the P.R.T. Garden. Okay, whatever you can pronounce, you have to pronounce. You can pronounce according to your ease. You have to write according to your ease. आपको जैसा easy लगता है, आपको जो simple लगता है, आपके लिए जो benefit है, आप उसको write करिए, उसको learn करिए, ठीक है? क्योंकि ये सारे नाम जो भी anthropology है, it's not all about the Hindi, it's not all about the North people, it's all about the whole India, it's whole world. Okay, so the people in the world they pronounce according to their own is, and we are pronouncing according to our own is. मेरे लिए जो मुझे इजी लगता है एग्जामिनेशंस के लिए मैं उसको प्रोनाउंस करती हूँ. मुझे लगता है हाँ ये इससे बच्चे याद कर लेंगे या इससे मुझे याद रहेगा, मुझे कभी नहीं भूलेगा. तो आई एम मेकिंग माई इज, सो यू मेड योर इज. Okay, so here Lusai Cookie Clan G Shakespeare and the Khasi. You have to learn this already repeated PYQ questions. They were asking PRT Garden. So it's very important. Khasi is a PRT Garden. Please learn these tribes and studies by. अगेन वो फिर से पूछेंगे एग्जाम में, इस बार नहीं पूछेंगे अगली बार पूछ लेंगे. ओके, लोथा नागस जेपी मेल. ओके, लास्ट वन इज द लखेर ट्राइब इज पेरी, एनी पेरी, एंड द मारिया गोंड ऑफ द बस्तर इज डब्ल्यू Grecian. So just learn, just read one or two and leave it. Okay, let's see, the next one is monograph work. So early anthropologists in India, it was a monographic work. All monographic and simple work is done during this period. It was a monographic. You just, I know you have seen so many monographic work was done earlier, like a Toda. So Toda, the work was WHR River. It was, what was the time period of 1906. You can see what was the time period of the Comity period. Comity period was a time period of 970-74 to 1919. So it ultimately fall under this Comity period. Okay, so Toda work was in this period. The Vedas of Ceylon, JG and BG Sligman. So again, it's important. And the Andaman Island, it was a time period even though 1922, but the studies was also done the earlier because the report was published in 1992. 1922, yes, ठीक. So, but the work was done in earlier, so it's a Andaman Islander is again part of the monograph work. Okay, so let's see the S.C. Roy, the father of Indian anthropology. एंथ्रोपोलॉजी के फादर नहीं है, इंडियन एथनोलॉजी के, प्लीज इसको मत राइट करना, ठीक है, ये सारे नोट्स बहुत अर्ली के अपडेटेड हैं, तो हो सकता है इसमें कुछ मिस्टेक है. एस.सी. रॉय इज द फादर ऑफ इंडियन एथनोलॉजी, ठीक है. So work on the Munda tribes. He worked on this Munda tribes, and the five he published the sequential five monograph. You have to learn sequence of these five monograph. Okay, I will teach you how we have to learn, how we have to make ease. Okay, you can see the Orang, Ho, Bidhor, and uh, Bangar is also there, but the Birhor is very important. I will teach you what exactly the five monograph is there. So basically, S.C. Roy work again the formative periods. Okay, sorry, formative periods. Okay, you can see the formative phase was ethic views and the deductive approach, because these people are not based on their emic perspective. They are trying to learn this phase was other perspective, ethic perspective. Even though you have to again recall this ethic and emic perspective was given by Kenneth Pike in book is called A Language. Okay, if I am right, this concept was given by him, and again it was utilized by the Marvin Harris and the other. It was other anthropologist. Okay, so you can see the second period is the constructive period. What was the constructive period? Constructive period was 1990 to 1947. Okay, why this is called constructive? Because it's so many constructive work was done here. So basically establishment of the different department in the universities. Okay, you can see under the 1919 Bombay University anthropology department under the Bombay University, 1921 anthropology department in the Calcutta University, I already explained. And the next one is the anthropology department in Delhi University was established in 1947. And anthropology department of Lucknow University was established in 1950, and Guwahati was 1952. So it was again very very important work. अगर आप कुछ भी नहीं याद कर सकते हो तो please try to Kolkata anthropology department in Kolkata University is 1921. Okay, so because Kolkata University was important, you can see the significance work was done by the G.S. Gurye, M.N. Srinivas, D.N. Mazumdar, Iravati Karve. Ma'am, have you? I am not getting your point, Kushal. Please let me. I am not getting your point. What you want to say? Let me check what exactly you want to say. I am not getting your point. Please write in the complete sentence. I am very poor in the short form, especially in the conversation. Okay, so you can see the significant research area. Under the significant research area is the constructive work was done by the G.S. Gurye. Yes, definitely. No, I don't have Kerala board books. No, and there is no need to Kerala board book. Okay, whatever what is you need just first you have to follow the IGNOU book material, and after that, if you have a time, you have to go with this standard book. Okay, standard book like a बहुत सारी standard book है in every section. So many standard book is there, and especially which is recommended by your department, especially University of Allahabad and University of Delhi, especially first place University of Delhi, second place University of Allahabad, and third place University of Hyderabad, because these three universities top on this anthropology department. So try to follow these professor whatever they are preferring the book which is associated with this area. I'm not saying anthropology, I'm saying because they are experts, so whatever they are preferring to you, you have to follow this area, this book, so you have to go through that one, because that is ultimately help you for your examinations. And again, I think Sikkim University is also good in this sense. Okay, so you have to follow Sikkim University professor whatever they are preferring. Okay, and if you want to other, it's your choice, same content, yes it's maybe same content. Okay, basic content तो same ही होगा ना, कहाँ से अलग होगा? ठीक है, तो if you have a time you have to follow, but you have to follow the authentic which they are preferring to you. Okay, I already told you Delhi, Allahabad, and Hyderabad University. Delhi University good in the every sense. Okay, and Allahabad University, I don't have idea that much, but I know the Allahabad University is good in the archaeological perspective and the some other perspective. I don't have idea. I am not exploring that one, but I have idea कि Allahabad University में anthro बहुत अच्छी है. ठीक है, because my some of the guide is from there. My ma'am is from there, so I know, and some of I आप लोग भी हैं कुछ बताते रहते हैं, so it's that case the Allahabad is good. And the one in Hyderabad is a very good university in this case. ठीक है, हैदराबाद तो बहुत अच्छी है. ठीक है, अगर आपको आर्कियोलॉजी पढ़ना है या ऐसे ट्राइबल या मेगालिथिक कल्चर, सो इन दैट केस हैदराबाद इज रियली गुड. ठीक है, मैंने तो उसका मतलब कंटेंट देखा, आई वाज सरप्राइज्ड कि कैसे पढ़ाते हैं वो लोग. बट ठीक है, मुझे नहीं पढ़ने को मिला, इट्स ओके, बट इट्स ओके, सब नहीं मिलेगा ना, दिल्ली मिलेगी तो हैदराबाद नहीं मिलेगा, हैदराबाद मिलेगा तो दिल्ली नहीं मिलेगी. चलो कोई बात नहीं. चलिए, significance research was done by the G.S. Gurye, M.N. Srinivas, and D.N. Mazumdar. Iravati Karve work was also done here, and A. Ayappan and N.K. Bose. This is a very famous all Indian anthropologist who worked in this constructive phase, was very famous. So entry of the foreign scholars, the warrior Ilvin in the tribal area. So this was a constructive period when the foreign scholar was came. Even though warrior Ilvin, he categorized under the Indian anthropologist. Why? Because he adopted the Indian citizenship, he acquired the Indian citizenship. That's why. So that's why he categorized under the Indian, even though he was a British officer. He came in India due to some administrative reason. Okay, you can see 25th Congress session held in the Calcutta in 1935. Not important. And you can see ham and drop of the tribe of Hyderabad. I already told you different tribe studies done by this ham and drop. Fewer ham and drop is some Hyderabad tribe like a Chinchu, Reddy, and Central India like a Goond, and Northeast India like a Naga, and so many tribes is studied by him. Bison Hill was also studied by the Hammondorf. Hammondorf was a very famous anthropologist in perspective of the ethnographic tribal studies. Okay, continuous focus on the tribal studies. You can see the analytical period. So I already told you analytical period was associated with the analytical period was associated with re-studies, criticism work. Okay, especially re-studies of the village and the criticism work. So this analytical period, you can see the Maurice Hopler is there, David Mandelbaum is also there, and the Oscar Lewis is also there. Okay, so this is analytical period 1947 to till now. Okay, you can see here. चलिए एक थोड़ा सा आई थिंक मैंने कुछ मेंशन किया है. Okay, I think this is based on the PYQ question. Let's see. The concept of the Sanskritization and dominance card universalization and parochialization emerged in this period is called analytical period. Next one, you can see the lineage caste studies by the M.N. Srinivas in this period. LP Vidyarthi and R.K. Bhaumik. R.K. Bhaumik, you have to learn the R.K. Bhaumik because R.K. Bhaumik is right now is very important. He studied the Lodha tribe PVTs from the West Bengal. Introduction of action anthropology. Action anthropology but itself came in the 1950 to 1960. So you have to learn the chronology of this branch of development of anthropology, 1950, 1960s and all that. Okay, next one you can see the social psychological research, Uma Chaudhary and the PC Roy. But this one is not important. This was important for me because I am studying in that area. So Uma Chakravarti is important for me, but it's not for you. Not for exam. Leave it. Okay, let's see we are moving towards the next topic. What is the topic? Let's see. So we just covered this stage in the development of the Indian anthropology. So इसकी मेरे पास एक PDF है, मैं उसी में से आपको पढ़ा दूंगी, अभी नहीं. But let's see first focus on the what is mentioned in our syllabus. What is mentioned in this notes. ठीक है, देखिए broad approach to tribal development. What is a broad approach? This is again very important and this is very standard book concept. This is not IGNOU concept, even though in IGNOU is also there, but the standard book, what is the name? I am not recalling. This book was written by, I think, tribal cultures of Indian tribes as something. It was written by LP Vidyarthi and BK Roy. Okay, so that book content is here. If you want to go through the book, it's your wish, you can go. If you want to in short, you can follow this one. Okay, broad approach to tribal development. There is a three approach to tribal development. First one is called isolation approach, isolationist approach. Second one is called assimilation or assimilationist approach. Third one is called integration approach. Okay, so first isolation approach was a policy of segregations. Second one is the assimilation approach. It was given by G.S. Gourier. And integration approach, there is a protective and the proportional measure. First one is in inside of the integrational approach. The first approach was scheme is protective approach, and the second approach is promotional approach, promotional measurement. So protective, it means they try to protect this tribal area, but the promotional, it means they try to provide us some type of the economic independencies and some type of the worked culture in this the tribal area. So this is called integrationalist approach. Okay, under the isolationist approach, the pre-independent, you can see, let's see one by one. Again, this is important in the very short, and the very important data is here. You can see the under the isolation, pre-isolationist approach was a pre-independent area, pre-independence era. You can see under the 1934 Warrior 11 support the establishment of the national park or a specimen in human zoo. I am not going in the detail what was the academy of Warrior 11, why he came in India, what he was. I'm just covering from anthropological perspective, especially in the UGC NET-JRF. Okay, when you're writing for UPSC, men's answer writing, you have to cover in the detail what he was, what exactly work he done, and why he came in India, how he contact with this tribal area. So you have to write in the detail. But UGC NETs never ask this type of the question, so you no need to in that much of the detail. Okay, you just learn this one. So isolationist and the pre-independence, it was a time of the pre-independence is 1934, Warrior Elwin. He support the establishment of the national park or the specimen in human zoo. The tribal contact with the outsider residue, the minimum is not follow the law. It's he said ki we have to minimize this tribal contact with the mainstream societies. Okay, in 1941, support to idea of isolationism. Okay, area-wise isolation. Area-wise isolation began in 1817. The government of India is introduced scheduled track. Okay, so it was a time period of 1870. You can see the backward track, scheduled area, and the partially excluded area. Uh, you can see these under this Government of India Act 1919. They introduced three forms. The first one is called the backward track. Second one is called the scheduled area, and third one is called the initially excluded area. Okay, so sorry, initially a partially excluded area. So under the 1936, first the backward track was identified under the Government of India Act 1990. Scheduled area and the partially excluded area was a time period of 1930. So Government of India Act 1935. Just learn, but not that much of important. But because of the tribal perspective, we have to know each and every sections. So main feature of this, the government. What is the main feature of this act? The government function on discretions, expenditure is non-votable, and the discussion matter is prior to concern with the government. We don't need to go in that much of the detail. Okay, let's see the next. So is in examination they ask this national park concept was given by whom? The specimen in the zoo concept was given by whom? The isolist approach was established by whom? So this type of the question in UGC NET they ask. And the second is question is related to assimilationist approach. So assimilationist, what the assimilationist approach? Assimilationist approach says we have to merge tribal people with the mainstream society. We can't districts because they hide their development, they hide their right, whatever the available in the societies. So they are people that deserve this type of the right and promotions. That's why we have to merge, and it's our duty to merge this tribal societies and tribal area with the mainstream societies, even though so many disadvantages and advantages there, but it was a assimilationist approach. So tribal people is the mingle with the non-tribal people. We can see the tribal people merge with this mainstream societies of the people. We can see the mainstream. Okay, next one, GS Guri is characterized tribal as a backward Hindu. Again, this is a very very famous, very very important. अपने नोट्स में इसको राइट करना, पेन लेके जरूर राइट करना. जो चीजें बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट होती है उसको लिखना होता है. आई एम नॉट सेइंग कि you are just listening and you are not remembering. You definitely remember, your mind will definitely remember, but the writing, ब्रूम्स टेक्निक में पढ़ा है ना, कैसे इम्पैन काम करता है, हाउ फिजिकल बॉडी इज वर्क. इम्पैन इमिटेट करता है, मुझे देखेगा मेरी तरह आप इमिटेट करोगे, उसको नकल करोगे कि मैम ने एक बार में सारा पढ़ा दिया था, ठीक है. आफ्टर दैट मैनिपुलाइज करोगे, मैनिपुलेट करोगे, फिर आप उसको मेरी तरह बैठ के मेरी तरह बैठोगे चेयर पे, फिर आप उसको बोलना सीखोगे, तो दिस इज एसिमिलेनिस्टिक। बोलने में थोड़ा सा इजी, सुनने में इजी लग रहा है कि एसिमिलेशन, आइसोलेशन, बट व्हेन यू प्रोनाउंस द आइसोलेशनिस्ट एंड एसिमिलेनिस्ट, सो इट्स बिकम द लिटिल बिट ऑफ द डिफिकल्ट, इट्स कॉल्ड द मैनिपुलेशंस। ठीक है, फिर आप प्रिसाइज करोगे उसको, देन actualizations, how much your body is adapted, how much your tongue is favorable to this tongue, and after that naturalization, and once a time you will become ultimately, okay, ultimately like that. You no need to imitate, you no need to anything, you just take a pen and you write, this is a naturalization, this is a this concept, this one is a this concept, this one is a this concept. So it's called a naturalization process. That's why we have to practice pyq for our examination before the 10 days. Our mind and bodies become the naturalized. When you sit on the one chair 3 hours and you solve the one paper pyqs or 10 paper pyq, your body and mind become the naturalized. So that is the criteria we have to follow. So I'm saying the backward Hindu, you have to write with the name of the GS Gurye, because in examination they ask with NK Bose. So people are thinking कि उन्होंने study की थी the Hindu society, so they might be write the backward Hindu. No, it's not like that. Okay, it's not like that. And this studies was done by the he said ki tribe as a backward Hindu by the GS Gurye. Okay, so argue that the isolations of the tribe from the mainstream is the mingleless. Okay, basically he was contrast with him, and actually he was contrast with the barrier Elvin. देखो जब हम किसी चीज को बहुत करीब से देखते हैं ना, तभी आप उस पर रिसर्च कर पाते हो. इवन दो जीएस गुरी वाज करेक्ट, नो डाउट अबाउट इट, बट द पर्सपेक्टिव, द विजन इज वेरियर इलविन वाज प्रेजेंट. ठीक है, इन्होंने जो पर्सपेक्टिव प्रेजेंट किया था, ये आउटसाइडर नहीं था. ही स्पेंड लाइफ मोर देन हाफ ऑफ लाइफ विद दिस ट्राइबल पीपल, एंड आफ्टर दैट ही प्रेजेंट. देखो यस, उनको मेन स्ट्रीम में लाना चाहिए. वी शुड, इट्स आवर ड्यूटी टू ब्रिंगिंग दिस सोसाइटी अंडर द मेन स्ट्रीम, बट नॉट lose their culture. We have to become matlab manage करके लाना चाहिए. It's very difficult to them, because anyone when they follow the one culture they forget the other culture. It's not possible for human being, but it's creating a harmful effect as well, uh, and beneficial too. बट आई थिंक जब किसी चीज को बहुत पास से देखते हैं ना, बहुत अच्छे से एनालाइज कर पाते हो आप लोग. दूर से तो कोई कुछ भी कह देता है. आई डोंट नो हाउ मच द जीएस गुरिया वाज करेक्ट, बट इट्स मे बी डेफिनेटली करेक्ट. दैट्स व्हाई राइट नाउ जीएस गुरिया ऑन द ट्रेंड एंड डिफरेंट people they are following GS Gurye. But मुझे ऐसा लगता है कि Varial Elvin was too much correct in their perspective. I am supporter of Varial Elvin. ठीक है, it's okay. I don't know what exactly is, but the theory is mentioned like this. Okay, so Roy Burman and Leela Dubey, they are again study with these approaches, assimilarist approach. Roy Burman again supported this assimilation approach, GS Gurye, and Leela Dubey is again supported. एक reason ये भी हो सकता है क्योंकि इट्स टोटली इट्स क्राइटेरिया फॉर द इंडियंस एंड द फॉरेनर. सो उसमें कोई भी अपने को ही सपोर्ट करता है. इट्स मतलब लुक लाइक दैट, बट दे आर सपोर्टिंग बर्मन. रॉय बर्मन इज अगेन सपोर्टेड दिस एसिमिलेशन अप्रोच, एंड लीला दुबे मे बी ये सही भी हो सकते हैं. आई एम नॉट राइट, बट इट्स लाइक दैट. ओके, so next one is integrational approach. So integrational approach is again a middle way. So brainchild of the Nehru Panchasel. Okay, integrational approach, it's a good for tribal development. You can see he introduced under this Nehru brainchild, he introduced the very important concept is called the tribal development and the protective measure. So अभी के लिए इतना ही रहने देते हैं. In evening class we will start from this tribal approach to integrational approach, and in this integrational approach so many approach was there. I already learned there is a two approach. First one is called the protective and second one is called the promotion approach. So we will see one by one in the evening classes, and we will try to complete all 9 unit. Okay, चलिए, have a great day, enjoy, study well, फोकस ऑन द पेपर वन एज वेल. हाँ, तो कल एक क्लास होगी हमारी, पेपर वन की क्लास है. प्लीज आप लोग ज्वाइन करना और उसको भी देखना. उसमें हम लोग पेपर वन का सारा कॉन्सेप्ट कवर करेंगे. इट मीन्स इट्स बेस्ड ऑन द पीवाईक्यू सेक्शन. ठीक है, it's based on the PYQ sections. Likewise, this we already uploaded. Likewise, this we will cover the each and every section of the PYQs from earliest to latest, and so in between them we will cover to this topic which is already mentioned. We will start these classes for the 9 a.m. and we will see what time it will end, but we will start from 9 a.m. So we'll please try to join, and एक दिन पढ़ना है बस पेपर वन को. आप देखना उससे कितने क्वेश्चन आएंगे. पेपर वन को सिर्फ एक दिन पढ़ना है, वो 2 घंटे 4 घंटे 5 घंटे जो भी क्लास होगी. एंड आफ्टर दैट 29 को रिमेनिंग जो 8 यूनिट और 9 यूनिट है उसको हम कर लेंगे, क्योंकि कल मैं मैक्सिमम आज और कल मैं ट्राई करूंगी पेपर 2 का ये 9th यूनिट कंप्लीट हो जाए. ठीक है। उसके बाद हम 8 और 9 यूनिट को करेंगे 29 को, 30 को आपको एग्जाम है, और उसी में हम रिवाइज भी कर लेंगे ऑल 10 यूनिट। सो इट्स ऑल अबाउट माय शेड्यूल, एंड वट एवर यू सुटेड फॉर यू, यू कैन फॉलो। इवन द ट्राई टू कनेक्ट लाइव क्लासेस। 29 की क्लासेस सिर्फ लाइव होगी, उसमें मैं रिकॉर्डेड नहीं अवेलेबल कराऊंगी। मैं फिर से बोल देती हूँ, 29th of June classes, which is related to unit 8 and 7, I will not provide the recorded class, only provided the live classes related to 8 and 9. Okay, have a great day, enjoy, see you in the evening, 7 p.m. Okay, bye bye, thank you.